June is upon us! So what am I going to read? What's going on, YouTube? Michael R. Schulteis here, author of The Rostoval Saga, which you can see, as always, on the shelf behind me. Today I'm coming at you with my June TBR MBR. To be read, maybe read. So first up we have The Way of Edan by Dr. Philip Chase. Now this book probably needs no introduction, all over YouTube. In fact, book 2 is coming out quite soon. I did pick this up back in April, and I enjoyed it. But I got distracted. April was a bit of a crazy month for me. I was working on book 4 of my own series, and getting ready to go on vacation. So, I'm getting back to this, and it's been really fun so far, and I'm looking forward to finishing this one up in June, no matter what. Fingers crossed. Book 2, Shadow and Claw by Gene Wolfe. Now, I don't have much to say about this yet, except it's really, really cool. It's a science fiction novel, but it reads like a fantasy novel, because it's one of those novels that's set so far into the future that you have a lot of world building, and you have what feels like a very fantasy kind of society. It's a lot of fun. I am still learning the ins and outs of this world, getting into this story. This is kind of a slow burn story, but that's not a bad thing. It's actually very, very well done. The protagonist is Severian. He is an apprentice torturer. And I can't say too much more than that, because I'm not that far into the novel yet. Now we have Book 3, Son of the Black Sword by Larry Correia. Man, this is an author I've been wanting to get into for a while. And he's just one of these authors that I've been aware of. He has really fun rants on Twitter. I think they're fun. Some people don't like them, but he really cracks me up. I like his general sense of, I'm here, I know what I'm about, and you can put up or shut up. And I just really dig that. Larry is just one of those guys, like, I have to read this guy, because he's been on my radar for a while. I just want to see what this is all about. So I've started reading this one already, and it has kind of a South Asian vibe that I really dig. Again, I can't say too much, because this is the third book in a row now where I'm just not that far in. So the rest of these books on my list are all associated with the Self-Published Fantasy Blog-Off. The Self-Published Fantasy Blog-Off, SPFBO, or SPIFBO, and this is SPIFBO 9 this year. This is a contest put on by author Mark Lawrence. You might have heard of him. Written just a few books. Mark, if you happen to watch this video, just know how grateful I am. This is a really big deal. So I chose a few of these pretty much just by looking at the covers and saying, oh, that looks cool. Let's read the blurb. Oh, that looks cool. And that's kind of the thought process. It passed the cursory cool test. Like, okay, this gets my interest. Let's see if this could be fun. And I probably will read a lot more. There's 300 entries in this contest. So we have 4 books to talk about here. Let's just dive right in. So I'm just going to read this blurb. This is from Amazon. I don't really know anything more about it than this. It did win the cover contest, which is very cool, and it is a really awesome cover. So, The Bone Spear by Alexander Lane. This is book 1 of the Flayed Sun trilogy. All ex-hero Atarian Valast wants is to die. When a seraph saves his life, curses him with the gift of undying, and offers him a second chance at saving mankind, Atarian reluctantly agrees to right the wrongs of his past. He sets out across the ruins of the world he tried so hard to protect over 20 years ago, guided by the gods and intent on uniting the remnants of civilization. It soon becomes clear, however, that the gods may not be exactly what they claim to be, and that Atarian may very well be just another pawn in a game played between divinities. Kalia is too young to have known the world before it was invaded by the flayed gods. Determined to escape her abusive father, she flees alone across the desolation, seeking shelter in the ruins of an old city. Here she comes across a solitary monster, a priest of the gods who have enslaved her own race, who assures her that she is destined to guide humanity into a golden age. Guided by her monstrous mentor, and by visions granted to her by her new gods, Kalia understands that the only thing that stands in the way of her ascension is an old man and his own plans. She intends on striking him down, and then fulfilling her destiny. But Atarian is no ordinary old man. He is the White Dove, and he will have redemption, no matter the cost. So that sounds super cool. I really, really think this could be a book that would be very much for me. I'm very optimistic about this one. Reading that blurb has got me excited. Okay, we're doing this. So then we have A Low Country by Morgan Shank. This is book 1 of 1 so far in the Low Country trilogy. The blurb, again off Amazon, everything went to hell in the first week. After 4 years on the road, Charla was looking forward to settling down and trying her hand at a steadier occupation. When Claus, that's capitalized, raid her town and take her lover, Ren, she knows it's time for action. She's tired of running. Now she'll take a stand. To do this, she'll have to follow the Claws across the Tablelands. This is a land of bandits, mages, and monsters. If she wants to travel this country and rescue Ren, she'll need help. An army of watchmen would be nice. Maybe even a drug cartel. However, she also knows it's best to keep things small. The more allies she has, the more she risks a future knife between her ribs. After all, this is Low Country. So this has definitely got my attention because it has a very Wild West vibe. And if you read the little foreword, the author explains, yeah, this is based on my love of the American West. I'm like, well, that's Western and fantasy. Okay, that's just awesome. So I am going to give this one a try, and I don't know, looks really cool. So now we have The Fear of Moncroy, and if I butchered that, I'm sorry, by Brian Asher. All the Waywards have fallen. After a mission against the royal vampiric court goes horribly wrong, all of the Waywards are slaughtered. All except one. Davion, the last surviving member, must consume potions to mask himself and hide amongst the very people who killed his brethren. After a decade of living this double life, Davion has resigned himself to his new purgatory. But all will not remain calm for him or the court. An unknown swordsman arrives, and after killing several royal vampires, rumor spreads that he's searching for anyone still belonging to the Wayward Order. Davion decides he must track down this mysterious swordsman, but will finding him bring freedom or his own demise? So that's the 3 Spiffbo entries that I'm going to read. Now there's one more entry to talk about, and it is mine. The Altar of My Fate, Book 1 of the Rostaval Saga, which you can see up there, by Michael R. Schulteis. So I'm just going to read you my blurb, which you can see as always on Amazon. A warrior questing for glory, a slave girl with a secret. Can they claim the ancient altar? Trained to the warrior's path, Rostaval yearns for glory and craves adventure in unknown lands. Leading the war band he created, he sets off on a quest to brave the formidable desert and the swords and arrows of a growing number of enemy tribes. He expected the mounting dangers, but he didn't expect Gaita, the beautiful slave girl with the secret, the power and peril of an ancient altar, an artifact of the vanished Shaper race. As his enemies multiply, Rostaval is forced to confront an immortal adversary and the looming specter of defeat. Can Rostaval and Gaita avert disaster and claim the fateful power of the ancient Shaper altar? Brimming with fierce tribes, deadly perils, ancient powers, and sexy slave girls, the Altar of My Fate is the epic fantasy adventure you've been craving. Get it now. Content warning, the Altar of My Fate contains mature themes of violence, sensuality, slavery, and concubinage. For mature, daring readers only. Alright, so I have an update. Book 4. The second draft is coming along very nicely. We are close to a very big announcement. I'm just going to tease that. I expect to publish Book 4 by the end of July or early August. But I have another announcement that I'm just going to tease now, and I will make that announcement public probably later this month. So how about you? What are you reading for the month of June? What are you maybe reading for the month of June? Do you have anything on this list? On your list? Maybe you have another Spiffbo entry that I didn't talk about on your list. Let me know what your June reading month is looking like. I'd love to hear all about it in the comments. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us to grow the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll hope to catch you on the next video.